Hey there and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button before you leave, and if you're a returning subscriber, do hit that little bell down below for notifications on when I put up new videos. I upload twice a week with the occasional vlog on Friday. So today's video has been on my mind for a couple weeks, if not longer. It's actually been on my mind for, essentially since the beginning of me starting YouTube, and it's taken me a while to decide if I've wanted to make this video. I also still don't even know if this video will see the light of day, but for my own personal reasons, I figured I would sit down and talk to you about something that I feel like has become increasingly more important for me. And the title of the video is very vague because this video can go in many different directions. I know what I feel. I don't know exactly what's going to come up for me in the recording of this video, but essentially there's something that I want to talk to you guys about, and there's something that I want to take accountability for, and that is, well, how about we grab a snack like usual, get comfortable, and get into it. So as I mentioned, this has been something that I've been thinking of recording since, I don't know, a couple years now, but really been thinking about recording this for the last couple of weeks. I've seen this social media effect on people, even myself. As a blogger, I perpetuate this, and I do it because A, it's my job to do it, and like any person who has a job, you want to do it well. And not to say that I've been inauthentic, because I think being authentic with you guys has been literally at the highest priority for me, but I've seen it a lot within like the community, whether that's like plus size fashion or beauty influencers or just influencers in general. And it's something that even when we're not being promoted or paid to promote something, we still perpetuate this lifestyle that seems so freaking unachievable to everyone else. And I want to address that with you guys from two different points. I've done it and I've seen it happen and I've felt the effects of that, and I think that it's starting to create this feeling in our everyday lives that makes us feel like our everyday lives are not as glamorous and beautiful as what we see on Instagram. And that can be from, you know, your favorite influencer, or that can be from, you know, just people on Facebook that you're following. And that's something that is really important that we discuss, because if we are not discussing that, the negative ramifications of that will start to just grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where we never feel fulfilled and satisfied and happy with our everyday lives, because it never looks as beautiful as what we're seeing out there. So to paint a little bit of a picture of what I do and what my job is and what the jobs of other influencers are, and I'm not going to say that everybody who portrays like beautiful scenery or I'm having an amazing vacation with all of these other people and it's an incredible time is lying to you, because that's not the case. But there is that intentional glorification of it, or rather the part of you that wants to make the glitz and glamour look even more glitz and glamour. And I really want to be super careful with my wording here, because this is also something that I do and also something that I'm part of, and I don't ever want to make it feel like I've been lying to you guys, or that future posts from now on are going to be lying if I'm talking about how great of a time I'm having. However, there are times that I know I've done this, I personally know I've done this, where I didn't have the greatest time somewhere. For instance, when I first moved to my apartment in Toronto, which by the way, I'm visiting my boyfriend in Boston right now, if you guys don't really know how that works. When I moved into my apartment in Toronto, I very much glorified that whole experience, because I, first off, for many different reasons, didn't want to admit publicly that I was struggling with, well, I mean, I did and I didn't, but I did take moments where I would go out with friends or whatever and talk about how great I felt and how great of a time it was, when like internally, like that's not necessarily how it felt for me. And I felt like for me, like the reason why I had done that was like a fake it till you'll make it kind of thing. And also because, you know, when you're a public person, you kind of open yourself up to public scrutiny. In a lot of cases, if I had made it public knowledge that I was struggling, really struggling with the feelings that I was having, that I would be opening myself up to public scrutiny as well. But then I realized that by doing that, by not really addressing the reality of what my situation was or what my real feelings were, that I was, you know, depriving people of a few different things. And that was the ability to connect with me and to feel less alone. It deprives me of the ability to know that other people struggle that way, and that I can also have that moment of like, you know, enlightenment. And it really, I guess, devalues like what I'm saying in a lot of ways. And I don't want to sit here and act like I'm bashing this whole community, because I think this community is so awesome. I love what we can do. We as influencers, I mean, we as like bloggers, YouTubers, whatever, we get to experience a side of life that a lot of people might not get to experience on a daily basis. We also get to help you guys make more informed decisions about things that you can buy or things that you can wear and what you can do with your money. And I'm forever grateful. But I know that there have been times personally where I haven't addressed what I've been feeling internally on an everyday basis, and just talked about how happy I was or how excited I was in a moment, when in the reality I was struggling. And that might make somebody like you who's watching my videos or looking at my Instagram photos feel like something's wrong with you, or your life isn't good enough because you're not having this great, amazing time all the time, whereas somebody else is. And that's just not the reality. An influencer or a blogger or a beauty blogger or a YouTuber or whoever you're looking at has bad days. We all experience bad days, but the likelihood of us putting our bad days out there to be viewed on a grand scale as we do our good days is slim to none. And the few of us who do that often know that with being vulnerable about where you are and where your dark moments are or where your insecurities lie, that it also opens you up to this whole world of people who are going to pick every aspect of you apart. So I can fully and completely understand how and why people like me choose to keep that stuff private and personal and just post moments where things are great and don't really show the full picture. I feel like we as a society have really just focused in on the details, and just we need to take a step back and look at the big picture. So something for myself that I want to try doing is acknowledging days where I don't feel like the greatest, or I don't feel like at my best. I will have low moments that come from nowhere and I can't navigate them, and all I can sort of do is zone out. And I feel like in times where I felt low like that, I will just go scroll through Instagram and see how everyone else is having a great, amazing time, and just feel like my life is boring and my life is awful. And then I've also had moments where I'm like in an okay mood and I've been happy to be home and just chill, but then I'll go on social media and see everyone's like out and doing things and all these fun things and feel like I'm not doing enough. So that's just kind of where I feel like I'm at with all of this, is that I love what I do, and I think I want to try to do it in a way that feels like more ethical to me, or feels like being more honest. And that's not to say that the things that I post in the future aren't going to be like all negative. What I'm saying is that I want to be more honest about the not so great days or the not so fun and exciting days, and maybe the days where I'm feeling low or what have you, I can be more honest about them, or just be more upfront about them, or start some sort of a discussion about it, or rather just don't post, you know, like don't post if I'm not feeling like in the greatest headspace, you know what I mean? So that's just kind of how I feel about it. And I feel like we as a society have gotten into this vicious cycle, and again, this just really doesn't just come down to bloggers. I think this is something that like Facebook kind of started, to be honest with you. If you're watching this video and you've resonated to anything I said, you know that either you have been on the receiving end of that, or you're wondering if you've possibly made somebody else feel that way. And like, to be honest with you, I feel like there's a 90% chance that you have unintentionally, you know what I mean? I'm not calling anyone out in this. This is really just not like nothing against anybody, because I feel like people will speculate, and that's not at all what this is. It's literally just me knowing that I've had down days, and on those down days I'm not really like talking about it, or when I'm down I'll just like throw up a photo on Instagram and maybe talk about like positivity when I'm not feeling super positive. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a way to word this because for some reason I can't really word it correctly, but I think what I want to see essentially is that we are all just a little bit more honest on an everyday basis. Not that you have to go to somebody and be like, I'm having a horrible day, my cat's really sick, and I had to deal with a bunch of puke this morning, felt super ugly when I left the house. Like, just know that we are all responsible in our own unique ways of making sure that we're not like creating and continuing this vicious cycle of my life is great and fine and wonderful, and I'm gonna uphold that at whatever the cost because I need to make it look like my life is great and wonderful because somebody else's life is great and wonderful out there and I want to feel like I'm on par with them. So that's just how I feel. We all edit our lives, every single one of us, and it's super important that we know that going into anything that we do. If we consume this media as if it is fact, as if it is unedited, perfect, like images, videos, whatever, we are going to start scrutinizing and pulling apart our own individual lives, and that is super freaking toxic and just completely against everything I stand for. You know, it does kind of fit in the realm of body positivity, but in general, like, it's doing such damage to us individually and on a grand scale, and I just want you guys to know that. I totally am here with you if you've ever felt that way, and I just want to take a little bit more accountability for myself. Who knows how it will change the way that my social media is, but I even try to, like, in my vlogs talk a lot more about the down days, and I just want you guys to know that I'm thinking about you when I'm putting my content up, and we'll think about you guys a little bit more and to maybe look inward and see how we can change what we're putting out there. Anyways, that is everything. I feel like I'm ready to wrap up this video now, but I really hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you've ever felt this way in the comments below and what you think about social media in general. Like, I genuinely, honestly feel like social media is so great and so beautiful in so many different ways, and I absolutely love it, and it is such a good thing for us, but at the same time, like everything, there are negative aspects to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video, so I will see you guys in the next one, but don't forget you can find new videos from me every Wednesday and every Sunday, with blog posts every Tuesday and every Thursday, and I'll see you next time. Bye!